Hi guys, welcome to my channel Lush Gardener. I hope you guys are fine and are safe. In today's video we are talking about Echeveria Shaviana pink frills. It's an extremely easy to grow succulent, but still I would advise for beginners to just hold on to this succulent because it can be slightly difficult for beginners and for people who are just starting off with succulents, because it's a little tricky to understand when this succulent needs water and when it doesn't. So in this video we'll be talking about the basic care requirements, which is the most important part. Now the most important part for this succulent is the soil. You have to ensure that the soil is loose, porous and well draining. Now remember guys, this succulent does not like a lot of nutrients in the soil. If there is a lot of nutrients or if the soil is organic rich, this succulent easily gets affected with powdery mildew. So you have to be extremely careful, especially the period between winter to summer. That small little duration in between is enough for the succulent to get completely filled with powdery mildew if the soil is highly organic. I've seen a lot of people tend to use a lot of vermicompost, and apart from using vermicompost they also add additional fertilizers. That doesn't work really well for this plant. It will start getting a lot of powdery mildew, and over the period of time the succulent will get affected and will even die. So be very careful. Do not add a lot of nutrients. Water the soil only when the soil is completely bone dry. To be on the safer side, I would say just sprinkle some cinnamon powder on dry cinnamon powder on the upper layer of the soil, probably once in 3 weeks or once in 4 weeks, to be on the safer side. Even if any other plant has got powdery mildew, this plant is the first one to get affected. Even with the pores, they will travel onto the succulent, and then even this succulent will get affected with the powdery mildew. So you have to be extremely careful. All you have to do is just maintain a very minimum organic soil, very lean nutrient soil. That is going to work out really well. Give it a good amount of either morning direct sunlight. Now morning direct sunlight you can give it for around 3 to 4 hours, not more than that. Do not keep the succulent out in direct afternoon sunlight. The leaves are very delicate, they can easily get burnt. Apart from this, the succulent leaves are very thin, so this succulent is usually affected with edema, and that happens due to irregular or improper watering schedule. Edema can be experienced on this succulent. But again, edema is nothing to be worried. It will not spread. It's not an infection. It is not related with fungus. It's just something that occurs when there is an improper watering schedule. But edema can be easily avoided by having a proper watering schedule. Now talking about propagation, it's pretty simple. They tend to put out offsets. You can probably cut them off or separate them once they reach a decent size. You can do a stem cutting, you can do a leaf propagation, but the leaf propagation is slightly difficult, so I would always advise you can go with either separating the offsets once they reach a decent size, or you can do a stem cutting, or you can do a beheading. But leaf propagation is going to be slightly tricky, especially for beginners or for people who are just starting off with succulents. This succulent belongs to the genus of Echeveria, so it's going to get into its growing period. You can already see there is a lot of new growth coming up on the succulent, and winter is their dormant period. Now if you want to add fertilizers, if you do not have any fertilizers in your soil, it's absolutely okay to add very minimum. I would say add a liquid fertilizer diluted in 1 liter of water, probably once in 2 months, not more than that. But if you already have vermicompost present in your soil, probably you had a pre-mixed soil, if you have purchased the soil online, please do not add any more fertilizers. It's absolutely fine. The succulent will do well, it will grow healthy. If you're going to add too much of organic matter, then there are going to be issues. Now aphids and mealybugs are a frequent visiting guest on this succulent, so you have to be extremely careful. Do a routine check, probably once a week or once in 2 weeks. Whenever you tend to see there are any mealybugs, you can go for any organic solution, or you can take a Q-tip and touch some hand sanitizer or rubbing alcohol and just very gently rub off the stem or wherever you tend to see any kind of infection. But guys, remember, please do not spray anything on the succulent. Do not use hand sanitizer on the crown area. The crown area is very fragile. You can take the Q-tip and add sanitizer and touch the lower part of the leaves, but not on the crown area. You can either clean the stem, the roots, the under part of the leaves, but do not touch sanitizer or rubbing alcohol on the crown area. There is a high chance that it might get harmed and the succulent might have a crown rot. So that's all about Echeveria pink frills. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe and keep propagating.